And we are going to get through this. Let's start with CONCACAF first. Let's start with CONCACAF. Big up to Kelvin Drayton as well. Let's go. Let's start with CONCACAF. No delay. I have a lot of things to go through. So what we're going to do, right? I'm going to show you guys something. When we talk about CONCACAF, right? When we talk about CONCACAF, big up to Robert Jusetta in the house. Great to catch up from down under. Aussie. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Group A. Back in the preliminary round for CONCACAF. We're going to start off. Look at El Salvador. You got to give El Salvador a lot of credit there. They've already played 6 games before the Octagonal. The four matches in the group, and then the playoff games home and away. So you got to give them a lot of credit for winning 5 games, drawing 1 to get to the Octagonal. Big up to Montserrat as well, who came close. And, Antigua and Barbuda, who didn't look bad as well. Just want to talk about the journey of these 3 teams that came through via the preliminary round. Look at Canada. Canada have gone unbeaten so far in World Cup qualifiers. Unbeaten. Them and Mexico are the only teams to have gone unbeaten so far. Canada, 4 wins there. Actually, 6 wins in the preliminary. They did play against Haiti and beat them twice, from what I could recall. I think they did win in Haiti too. Suriname didn't look too bad, but when they did come up against Canada, their frailties came to the surface. Curacao, who lost in the playoffs to Panama. They tried. Guatemala was very, very unlucky to have missed out on goals scored. Or it could have been Guatemala against Panama. I think Panama would have ultimately won that one. And then you have Panama, the aforementioned Panama, who was brilliant during the preliminaries and barely got past Curacao, in my opinion. Very lucky there. Very, very lucky to get through to the Octagonal ahead of Curacao. And they've been doing so far in the Octagonal. Great September window, but in October, very, very poor. And we're going to go through each and every one of the teams and how they've done so far in terms of the Octagonal. Haiti, they tried. They couldn't get past Canada. Canada were too good. St. Kitts and Nevis impressively topped their group, but El Salvador were a bit too good for them. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to go up. And we're going to take a look. Look, round 2. Go down to round 2. And you're going to see that, let's go back up here. Where's round 2? Round 2. Come on. Stop playing with me. Anyways, the round 2 is in a different format. Let's see round 2 here. St. Kitts and Nevis lost to El Salvador. Canada beat Haiti on the road. Panama beat Curacao at home. And then Curacao and Panama ended in a 0-0 draw. All Curacao needed to do was score, and they came close on many occasions, but just wasn't their day. Canada smashed Haiti. Remember that own goal by Duverger. Horrible own goal by the goalkeeper. El Salvador beat St. Kitts and Nevis at home, 6-0 on aggregate. El Salvador, Canada, and Panama through to the Octagonal. So, look, out of the 34 teams in CONCACAF, 26 have been eliminated. 26. So today we're talking about who's been eliminated and who's still alive. And in terms of CONCACAF, only 8 teams are still alive. And every team that are currently in the Octagonal are still alive. If you go down to the table there, they all still alive. So what I have for you right now is something a little bit more, pleasing to the eye. I got this. This is what the table looks like right about now after 6 matches with 8 to go. We're almost halfway through in terms of CONCACAF, and every team could still qualify. You know what I mean? Honduras could get their act together and they have a further 24 points available. And the ball is round. You never know what's going to happen. You never, ever know what's going to happen. So we definitely can't write off Honduras yet. This ain't tax season. We ain't writing off nobody yet, okay? Then we got El Salvador, Jamaica, both on 5 points. Costa Rica on 6. Panama on 8. Canada, Mexico, and the USA occupying the direct spots. And if the teams below them are not careful, but Canada, USA, Mexico, who are all hosting the World Cup in 2026, could kind of create some space there and run away with the top 3 spots. And then it would only be the playoffs up for grabs where you're not guaranteed to qualify at all for the World Cup. So, look, only Canada and Mexico are still unbeaten, and Honduras are still to pick up a win. And talk about Honduras. We have some news on Honduras before we do move on. And let's share the news on Honduras, where the Uruguayan head coach Fabian Coito has been sacked. Officially, Fabian Coito is out as Honduras coach. So, look, let's get into the final round. Let's do a recap of what happened in the games really quick. It won't be long, and then we are going to wrap up with CONCACAF. Look, I'm not going to go deep into the games. Just want to put it out there, because I made 5 separate clips on the channel, along with the main clip, 50 minutes, for you to go and hear what I had to say about the games, okay? So today is not to really get into the games, but I'm still going to recap the games really quick, briefly, in terms of who scored and who didn't score and things like that, okay? And that's it. USA 2, Costa Rica 1. Kesha Fuller in the first minute. Sergio Dest with a screamer in the 25th minute. So after Costa Rica scored, they seemingly went into their shells, and the U.S. youth team, which is the youngest ever team fielded in a World Cup qualifier, might have been a competitive game by any manager. And I was saying to myself, Greg Berhalter, you're about to screw this up. Buff, the youths of the USA, you know they say the youth are the future, the children are the future. They're basically kids, because there were 6 players under the age of 21 for the USA, while for Costa Rica, there was about 6 players over the age of 30 in the 11, and not to talk about guys like Sorobio, I think his name is, who came off the bench, who's about almost 40, and Bolaños, who's 37. So you have guys on the Costa Rican team who could be fathers to the guys on the USA team, but it was the youngsters who sunned the old men of Costa Rica, because they did play like old men. Their legs give out. Even Brian Ruiz chasing that ball in the second half, his legs give out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the legs to challenge for the entire 90. And the youngsters of the USA were all over them, man. So Gino Dest with that goal, brilliant. And then that Lionel Moreira own goal after he came on as a goalkeeper for the injured Keylor Navas. Just, put the nail in Costa Rica's coffin. Bright performance by the USA after Greg Berhalter made 10 changes. I thought Greg was going to blow it again, but good bounce back after the loss to Panama. Quality performance by the USA. Not so much by Costa Rica. Just want to put it out there, But look, I should give you guys something better to look at on the screen, though. Like, what am I doing? Come on, man. Come on, Dom. You could do better in terms of the visuals. All right. That's much more like it, okay? So, big up to the boy Ricardo Pepi, who didn't have a lot of service in that game. But look, guys like Brendan Aronson, McKennie, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa, all look bright. Even Chris Richards, man, good tackle there to stop that, goal-saving tackle. And the Robinsons, brothers from another mother, Miles and Anthony, was quite solid. Zach Steffen, not much to do in goal. So, good win for the USA. 3 points. USA, I will review each and every team's window in a sec. But let me just get through the games really quick. Canada 4, Panama 1, Rolando Blackburn in the 5th minute. And similar to the USA-Costa Rica game where Costa Rica scored first and, kind of fell asleep after, Panama kind of did the same. And I think the crowd got to them, the players got in their heads, and they just lost a psychological battle. They say, look, it's a psychological war out here every single day. People are constantly testing you. And Panama failed the test miserably. You see what I'm saying? Bassinas losing his head there when the substitute warming up touched him. You know, I think that was Henry. The substitute actually touched him. Why are you touching the guy for, though? But, you know, you know what I'm saying? You got to play mind games, and Bassinas just lost it. See what I'm saying? And that's where Panama lost the game. They just lost the plot. But Alphonso Davies, man, stand up, man. Brilliant. Own goal from his corner in the 28th minute. Then Davies with that wonder goal, keeping the ball in play in the 66th minute. Tajon Buchanan in the 71st. And Jonathan David in the 78th. Look, Alphonso Davies, a hand in most of the goals, man. You know what I mean? Larea with the assist for the Tajon Buchanan goal. But it was all Alphonso Davies, who I'm now crowning the best player in CONCACAF at the moment. Do not argue with me. I just want to put it out there. Do not argue with me in terms of that. Don't argue. Guys, if you haven't yet smashed the thumbs up button, make sure you do so. We'll definitely appreciate it. 4-1 win for John Herdman's men. He celebrated like he was actually on the field scoring the goals. Canadians celebrated with their fans, and they're looking poised to make the cut for Qatar 2022. If their second half of their World Cup qualifiers campaign is anything like their first, they're definitely making it. Canada, stand up. You guys are looking beautiful. Honduras 0. We talked about Honduras a while ago with Fabian Coita getting the sack. No one has been appointed as yet. Jamaica 2. Their manager, Tapper Whitmore, was under a lot of pressure. You know, same kind of pressure he was when Jamaica made their debut at the 1998 World Cup, when, you know, he came up against teams like Japan and Argentina. A lot of pressure. I think the other team in the group, what was the other team in the group? Was it Croatia? I can't even remember, man. But I remember those two teams. Tapper Whitmore, look, you deserve some credit here. We're not going to take the credit away from Jamaica here. Like some people commented and say, oh, Dom, I don't know what you're talking about. You were on point with some of the other games, with the other games. But this game, Jamaica didn't play well. No, Jamaica actually played well. To go to San Pedro Sula and pick up a 2-0 win, it's not an easy feat. Hostile Honduran fans in the stadium and everything. It is not an easy feat. So we got to give Jamaica, whether it was a scrappy win or not, according to some, they still went out there, did their thing, and they were good. I got to give it to Jamaica. They were good. And with this win, it could actually give them more hope, and they could now compete. You see what I'm saying? They could start to dream again, because being down towards the bottom of the table there, that would not have been a good feeling at all. You see what I'm saying? So Jamaica, stand up, man. Kimar Roof in a 38-minute, O'Neal Fisher scoring his first international goal in the 79th minute. Give Jamaica the 2-0 win. What a go on, Jamaican! Y'all were damn good. You know what I'm saying? And guys, I do understand the Jamaican language, and I do speak the Patois as well, because I'm from St. Vincent and it's pretty much the same damn thing. You know? So, yeah, man. Yeah, you guys know sometimes it's very difficult to communicate with the Jamaicans, you know, who when they talk in the raw patois. But anyways, yeah. Good stuff by Jamaica, though. Good stuff. I like that. Caribbean, stand up, man. All the Caribbean team left. And I know I've said some things about Jamaica in the past. Not going to take him back, but you got to give credit when credit's due. And last but not least, El Salvador 0, picking up their first home loss. Mexico 2. And this was also another scrappy win by Mexico. They did make about 8 changes, and you have to give El Salvador the credit for putting up a fight. They weren't blown away. 1-0 up until the 93rd minute when a penalty was, given. And with Jacobo sent off in the 48th minute, they did put up a good fight with 10 men. So, big up to El Salvador. Still, they could take some positives away from this one. And I think Hugo Perez is doing a great job with the team. Hector Moreno, 38th minute, corner headed in. Raul Jimenez, penalty spot in the 93rd. Nestor Arroyo sent off in the 67th. Mario Jacobo in the 48th. Mexico stay on top of the table, unbeaten in the octagonal so far. And that rounds off what happened in October. Question: how much of an advantage is playing at home in CONCACAF region? it's bigger here in Australia due to travel times, for instance. Yeah, it is an advantage. Definitely home advantage. Definitely, because, for example, in Jamaica, the pitch isn't like the best. So the Jamaicans would know how to play on those rougher pitches. You see what I'm saying? While the teams that like to pass the ball on the ground, they may have some problems. You know what I mean? And you go to El Salvador, well, in one of the games, I think the game against Panama, the pitch was like so wet and the fans are hostile. You see what I mean? So these are things that has to come into play. In the USA, they tend to, when they play Jamaica, they'll host the game in Texas where there's not many Jamaicans to go to the game and things like that. You see what I'm saying? Stuff like that, man. Stuff like that. Canada, it gets cold during the fall and the winter months. Very cold, severely cold. You feel me? So Central America is very hot. So yeah, it's home advantage, man. It's about knowing the conditions, knowing about the conditions. So what I'm going to do right now, before we do move on to CONMEBOL, we're going to take a look at how each team did in October compared to how they did in September. All right. So let's just go and take a look at the table, right? Let's take a look at the table. Let's take a look at the table. I wish I could get a table after every game, but yeah, I can't do that right now. But look, let's take a look at, let's start from the bottom here. Let's start from the bottom, Honduras, right? Let's start from the bottom, Honduras, and just assess what they did in October and in September. So for Honduras, the games in October, they lost to Jamaica, lost to Mexico, and drew 0-0 at home to Costa Rica. So 2 home games, they only picked up 1 point. The away match, they lost. And in October, they didn't score a single goal. Hence the reason why Coito eventually got the sack. They wanted to sack him since last month, but allowed him 3 more games. Maybe they couldn't find the right managers yet. And Honduras really struggled by picking up only 1 point in October. Compared to what they did in September, wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. To start with, it wasn't too bad because they picked up a point against Canada, a point against El Salvador, and those are 2 games on the road. So that was pretty decent. But then when they met the USA, they took the lead and then gave up the lead, lost 4-1. So 2 points in September, 1 point in October. Manager sacked. Obviously, they did a lot better in September than they did in October. And the October form, very, very poor. And the fact that it didn't do well in October, it could mean that they may just, this window, this break, could actually be so detrimental in terms of their whole World Cup qualifying campaign, because then a new manager comes in, has to either adopt a similar or his own system, his own style, and then the players have to, get with that again, and then that might take some time to catch on, or who knows, they may just hit the ground running. You never ever know. You never ever know. It could work out that way as well. But for Honduras, man, very, very poor. Very, very poor in terms of their October international break there. So the next team that we're going to talk about, El Salvador. In terms of September for El Salvador picked up, let me just make sure I'm getting everything right. 0-0 draw against the USA to start with, a 0-0 draw against Honduras, and a 3-0 loss to Canada. So they didn't actually score a single goal in September, which is not good. Not good at all. Well, definitely not good. They also played a game against Guatemala. I didn't even know that. May have been second string team, maybe just for prep. But they didn't do well in September at all. But fairly okay. 2 points, right? Fairly okay. And then you go into, well, I should say, they did okay. Not the greatest, but they did okay. 2 points. It's El Salvador. We never expected a lot from them. So to start with 2 points, not bad. When you go to the October international break, that 1-0 win against Panama was absolutely huge, right? That's 3 points. That's already a better point tally than they picked up in September. But what's worrying is losing their last 2 games. A positive is that they have scored 2 goals, but they've also conceded 4 goals, right? They conceded 3 in September. Now they've conceded 4 in October. So they have some positives, but yeah, they got 2 negatives there with the 2 losses against Mexico and Costa Rica. I expected them to do a lot better against Costa Rica, but Keylor Navas was the difference, I have to say. Pushed over against Mexico, however, though, at home. So, look, El Salvador, 5 points. 5 points for El Salvador. If you take a look briefly at their November games, they play Jamaica and they play Panama. They have to look to get something from those games. Even if they get 1 or 2 points, they got to get something. Or else the other teams would start, creating space and moving ahead. And if they don't get any points, it would mean that Jamaica will get 3 and Panama will get 3, and they would, put some distance in between El Salvador and themselves. So with that being said, El Salvador, a better window in terms of points, but overall performance, I think September a little bit more stellar. For Jamaica, and we're moving on. We're not wasting time. And as I mentioned, all the teams in CONCACAF are still alive. We do have to talk about CONMEBOL, and I do have some articles on the African Confederation, the UEFA Confederation, and we're going to go through each and every confederation quickly to see who's still alive and who's not. And if I have time towards the end, we'll try to put together a list of teams that could still realistically qualify for the World Cup. So in September, for Jamaica, let's just talk quickly about September. They didn't do well at all. Lost to Mexico, lost to Panama, and they picked up 1 point against Costa Rica on the road, and that was a positive. And what I learned from the Jamaican point against Costa Rica is that there was some continuity there. Definitely. A game against the USA, they were pushed over 2-0, right? So 1 point in September, but the ended up picking up 4 points in October by drawing to Canada, which is a good achievement, and beating Honduras on the road. So Jamaica picking up 4 points in October. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. They've had one of the better international breaks in terms of the octagonal for sure. And as you guys continue to listen, and you'll hear how many points each and every team pick up during the October break. I may do this again in a standalone video, but I just wanted to go through this with you guys live and direct. So well done Jamaica, well done in October. You've actually probably saved the World Cup qualifiers by picking up the 4 points here in October. But November is going to be a challenge. They play El Salvador and then they play the USA at home. If they could walk away with 4 points, that'll look even better. It'll look even better on your resume while applying to go to Qatar, basically. So we're going to move right on. Going to continue on 5th place right now, Costa Rica. And they only have 5 points. They got 6 points, pardon me. They got 6 points. And for Costa Rica, in September for Costa Rica, drew 0-0 to Panama, lost a 0-0 at home to Mexico, and drew 1-1 against Jamaica. So, not bad. They got 2 points, okay? They got 2 points. So look, surprisingly, they did better. They did better in October than they did in September. But the loss against the USA, I think it just made them look worse than they actually performed, though. Because up until then, it was a decent effort. But the way Brian Ruiz couldn't really run in behind and they were just outran in the game against the USA, we're now starting to really understand what could actually stop Costa Rica from qualifying for the World Cup. We are understanding what could stop them, and that's the age of the players not being able to keep up with the youthful vigor of a Canada, of a USA, of a Mexico. You see what I mean? Jamaica picked up points against them. Panama as well. So they'll fall behind these teams. They fall behind these teams. And that's why right now, look at their position. They're fifth. Those 4 teams are going to outrun Costa Rica and most likely pip them to those top 4 spots. Basically. So they did have a better window, picking up 4 points, a 0-0 draw against Honduras, a 2-1 win against El Salvador, but they did lose against the USA. So we're going to move right on. Panama, on the other hand, had a great window in September. They did really well in September. You go back to the September games, Panama, they drew 0-0 to Costa Rica, beat Jamaica 3-0, and drew with Mexico of all teams to pick up 5 points in September. But when they came into October, didn't start well by losing on the road to El Salvador, but bounced back by beating the USA. What if Greg Berhalter did not, let's say, prioritize the Costa Rica game and played a weaker team against Panama, which he should have never done? He should have put out a well-balanced team against Panama. And if he had done that, Panama most likely would have picked up 1 point in October. They only picked up 3 points. 5 in September, 3 in October, right? They lost horribly to Canada, 4-1. They have to bounce back in November where they play Honduras and they play El Salvador. And those teams are below them in the table, and that's quite a possibility for Panama, right? But El Salvador, they beat them already. It will be a home game for Panama. So, look, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is guaranteed. It's going to be a challenge. But Panama definitely declined from their September showing, and they would need to get things back together. Canada has been absolutely brilliant so far in World Cup qualifiers. September, a 1-1 draw against Honduras, 1-1 against the USA, and they beat El Salvador to pick up 5 points. It's also a similar October break where they picked up another 5 points by drawing against Mexico, of all teams, joined to Jamaica, and beating Panama 4-1. And I think the draw against Jamaica was not seen as points dropped by the Canadian national team, but as a point gained. I think they're looking at things in a very, very positive light, and that's how you have to approach World Cup qualifiers. So let's say in the next 2 international breaks, right? Canada do play Costa Rica, and they play Mexico. Let's say they get 4 points. That's brilliant. And let's say in January, they pick up another 4 points. That's 18 points for Canada, right? That's 18 points for Canada with 4 games to go. With El Salvador, Costa Rica, Jamaica, and Panama, Canada would fancy their chances of qualifying directly for the World Cup. I just said directly. Okay? Stellar. They've been really, really good. Good in September. Good in October. As for the USA, they're second in the table, 11 points. In terms of the matches in September, 0-0 draw against El Salvador, 1-1 against Canada, and they did beat Honduras 4-1. So they picked up 5 points. They did much better. Even though they lost the game against Panama, it was a much better window in terms of points tally in October. So you see, it's according to how you look at it. It's according to perspective. It was a horrible loss. They didn't register the shots on target, but still beat Jamaica and beat Costa Rica, which 2 wins is actually better than a win and 2 draws. So the loss, it's a mere blip in what's going on right now, it seems, right? People are calling for Berhalter to get sacked. I don't think they should sack him. I just think Berhalter should stop playing around. 'Cause if he doesn't play around, the USA could have been ahead of Mexico. You see what I mean? By winning against El Salvador and winning that game against Panama. The USA would have been on top of the octagonal right now. But they're second. 11 points. Mexico. As much as I have not been impressed with Mexico, they did have a very impressive game in October that I'll get to. But in September, I think they kind of, struggled a bit. Even though they won won a few games and won 2 games, drew 1. I think they kind of, they didn't look at their best. 2-1 against Jamaica to kick things off. 1-0 against Costa Rica. And 1-1 against Panama. None of these performances were convincing. Then they played against Canada. Not convincing in a 1-1 draw. But that 3-0 win against Honduras was their best game thus far in World Cup qualifiers, in my opinion. And then against El Salvador, they had to really, really grind out that result. They still pushed aside El Salvador in the end. And they picked up 7 points during the October international break. For November, so they did better than they actually picked up the same amount of points. So it's a similar performance to what they did in September, right? So them and Canada, same months. That's the reason why both teams are unbeaten so far, in my opinion. They've challenged and they've done well. But when you take a look at the November games, USA and Canada, this is where the real tests come in. Could the USA pick 3 points off Mexico? Because they've been getting the better of Mexico lately. Could Canada at home pick 3 points off Mexico? It's going to be cold. Could they do it? It's a possibility. We could see Mexico go without any points in November. Okay? But, who knows? They may just go with 6 points as well. Or they may pick up 2. So let's see, and let's cross that bridge when November gets here. So that's just my recap of what happened so far in the octagonal in terms of September and October. And just to do a comprehensive breakdown and analysis and compare the 2 months for all 8 teams thus far. Mexico, the USA, and Canada looks good to take those 3 spots. But as I said, guys, it's early. Still early. I think the table would start really, really, really shaping up after the end of January. The end of January, we could start talking, right? We could really start talking. Who knows? If Mexico win those next 2 games in November, they go up to 20 points. We could give them the spot in Qatar already, right? But I think at the end of January, when we come back after November to the World Cup qualifiers daily, the AFCON will be going on. That I'll be talking about the AFCON. God spare my life, hopefully. Yeah, I'll be alive, guys. I hope you are too. But look, that's what CONCACAF is looking like right about now.